Welcome to The Weekend with me, Steve Savant, host of the daily internet talk show, The Business Insurance Zone, and national insurance columnist. I'm talking about retirement, and I've been talking about it for weeks now. I'm looking at all kinds of alternatives to make sure our golden years aren't filled with tears. We're trying to make sure that the income that we were promised, or at least get close to, actually is going to occur. And because we're going to be living longer, and because we may be even in higher tax brackets later on, I'm really concerned about the products that we're purchasing. I don't know about you, but after 2008, that was a major market loss, and I, as well as many Americans and other baby boomers, took significant hits, and it actually changed our work habits. Some of us are going to be working longer into our 60s. Some of us are going to have to look at different ways to cut back on our expenses. So retirement income is going to be a major issue in our life. What I want to do today is look at a couple different ideas, and I've seen life insurance now for the last 30 years as an alternative. I remember in the 90s we used current assumption UL, that was interest crediting rate, and it was great when it first came out because at its inception the interest rates were so high, double-digit rates of return, and the policies though were very, very, very expensive. So when we actually did the net effect, it wasn't really that great. But the worst thing that happened was we had serious declining interest rates during the 90s. So much so, and that the actual cost of insurance and the expense loads in these contracts didn't keep up with it. Then when we hit the 90s, we went into variable contracts because we thought the market would perform so well that doing something inside the equity market would really, really help our retirement. But the problem with that is that we took major hits in 2001, 2, and 3, and another one in 2008. Those down markets really dented the basic idea of using variable universal life for a long haul retirement because we didn't have preservation of principal. Now enter into the last decade of the 2000s, we're looking at indexing. Indexing is really the poor man's way to really enjoy some market returns. It's interesting to note that even outside life insurance, indexing is a popular play with people who just want to be able to buy the top 500 S&P or maybe the NASDAQ or maybe even a foreign indice. But in life insurance, it can be a huge issue because it accumulates tax deferred and it comes out absolutely tax-free through a combination of withdrawals to basis and loans to gain as long as the contract's kept in force for the life of the client. But the problem with this is that when you're the insured, you want to make sure that you're getting a good internal rate of return. I'm so sorry to say that most of the indexed universal life that comes across my desk for review is being done incorrectly. And when I compare the carriers that are coming across my desk, none of them hardly ever rank in the top 5 best indexed universal life contracts in the United States. So now I'm moving to a whole new platform of spreadsheet testing so that we can always deliver to our client the top 3 to 5 contracts in the United States with the lowest possible expense loads by design, and also give the chance for the contract at a lower projected interest rate to actually work. Before you get involved in buying index universal life, you want to be able to do the comparisons with the major players that are in play. We do this service for a complete free look, and we admonish you to look at this because index universal life can either be the greatest adjunct to your golden years, or it could be a nightmare if it's not done correctly. We're asking that if you want us to look at this, we'll do that, and all you have to do is contact our firm, Brokers Alliance, at 1-800-290-7226, extension 127, and we'll go ahead and examine your index universal life to make sure that you are actually buying the best contracts that are available, and more than that, you'll see our side-by-side of the top 3 to 5 players in this area, and you'll get an internal rate of return page, as well as you'll see all the expenses laid out so you can compare that to any mutual fund, ETF, your 401k, whatever you have, you can do a side-by-side comparison. We think this is really good due diligence because it's your retirement, it's my retirement. I'm Steve Savant. I want you to think about that, and here we are offering the opportunity for us to look and review your index universal life. Are you ready to look at your retirement? Are you considering index universal life? Is your advisor showing you the rate of return and the expenses inside the contract? Don't sign anything until you see the top performing contracts side by side so you can dare to compare. We have the test that buys the best, and then we toss the rest. I'm Steve Savant. Welcome to The Weekend.